God, I love that music. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday night once again, 8:30 in the evening. It is, of course, the Third and Long podcast. I am your host, the incomparable Shane Harris. Above me is Oliver Butler Henderson, and in the top corner in his beautiful Niners jersey is our sweet, sweet little lad, Baby Hope. And of course, look who returns this week at last. Where have you been, Mr. P?
Gents, I went to searching. I went high and low to find what I would describe as the perfect relationship. And I came back onto the show realizing that the four of us, between ourselves, our friendship, our fellowship, if you will help us one day return a particular ring and maybe lead that ring down the aisle of friendship.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're watching or listening on Spotify, you won't have any clue what he's talking about. But I can tell you one thing. There's a member of this foursome who is redder than a bag of Tangy Tom crisps right now. I'm not going to give the game away. If you want to see who it is, you better watch the show. Gentlemen, how has your week been?
He's as red as a Ferrari.
Yes, indeed. Gentlemen, so how's it been going then? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's not been too bad, thank you.
I think Tom's week's going to get even better.
Stop it. You know she doesn't watch.
Guys, just start it off. Just because I've been out of the loop for a second, right? And I just want to kind of ask you, what is your perfect idea for like a perfect date?
Okay.
So Saturday's coming up saying hello.
Hello, Stay-Day. So what is your idea for like of a perfect date? Like I like maybe April 17th because it's like in the middle of spring into the summer. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. You can wear like a nice comfy coat. Like, what about you, baby? What's your ideal date?
August 16th.
August 16th. And why is August 16th? Is it GCSE results day? Oh, it's your birthday. Oh, well, hopefully this year you will be celebrating it with someone that you love around you. I'm not just saying because your dad's looking to go.
Yeah, I'm going towards Taylor Swift.
You're going towards Taylor Swift?
Oh, don't tell everyone that, mind.
Where's that remove button?
Phil, since you weren't here last week, I'd like to get your opinion on something.
Please.
You obviously, as we know, as well, been documented on the show that you are a closet, well, not really a closet, out loud and proud Raiders fan.
So I thought you were going to go for something else then when you said.
No, I can if you want. No worries at all. I can if you want.
You're going to say something else. So Phil, since you're a closet, be careful of your.
Like I said, that's not much closeted. Let me tell you. But anyway, I digress. So as I was saying, what do you think about the new starting quarterback in your beloved Las Vegas Raiders organization?
No,
he's not been picked yet, has he?
No, wait for it. Now. We talk about last season with Minshew mania, brother, and we have to think about this in two different eras of Minshew's career. Now, he was in like Indianapolis. He was like he was literally like the face of that franchise for a whole season. He has his fanship around him. He's loved in Jacksonville. He's done well in Philadelphia, and then you have to look at his ride into the silver and black as almost like his NWO era, where he's coming out in the black, he's coming out in the white and silver. He's literally got his handlebar mustache, brother. He's going to be dropping some leg drops or dropping some bombs onto the AFC West, brother. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie. My next jersey is possibly going to be...
No. Don't buy it yourself.
All right, then. Well, maybe... the next jersey that I might turn up around my birthday might be a Raiders jersey that has a certain Mr. Minshew II. Honestly,
brother.
When I saw this news, I was half devastated and half buzzing because half of me wanted him to come to San Francisco, but the other half of me was thinking, at least in Las Vegas, I keep going to say Oakland. At least in Vegas, he's going to start, and I think he will start under center. And he's that particular character that the Raiders organization loves. They love players that are kind of like peaked and valid in different organizations. I mean, one of their greatest quarterbacks was a man called Jim Plunkett, and he was a first-round pick that bombed in New England. He bombed when he played for San Francisco. He goes to the Raiders as a backup, and he wins them 2 Super Bowls. and he was considered a bum by the time he went there in 1980, and then he did it again in 1983. So I'm buzzing because I think Minshew is the type of player that Raiders fans and that Raiders organization love, because he's got that hype. He will buy into that mentality more than Jimmy Garoppolo would ever. And I'm really looking forward to it. Genuinely, I know I play a lot of lip service, but I'm really looking forward to Minshew under center.
I don't think he's going to start.
I do.
What? Well, they've got rid of one handsome quarterback in Vegas, and they replaced him with a more handsome quarterback, if that was possible.
Yeah. It's like replacing Sting with Hulk Hogan in WCW in the early 90s.
Yes.
I don't know who is going to start, but I think it might be somebody that's currently not on the Raiders organization or not in the NFL.
I don't think now they'll draft a quarterback.
I think they will.
I don't think they will.
I mean, I'm not sure if any of you were watching Good Morning Football this morning, but I was.
No, I was in work.
I was at work. I was teaching
Sorry.
about Columbine. Thank you very much.
They were having a discussion about which team is the most needy of quarterbacks, whether it was the Raiders or the Vikings.
Vikings.
They don't actually have a quarterback.
100%.
Oh yeah, they do. They have some.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. They don't have a
No,
quarterback.
in which case you were right first time. Yeah.
They have the ghost. They have the ghost hunter.
Can I just say as well? I know I missed last week, and I know you mentioned it, but like Sam Darnold going to Minnesota, to me, in the free agency quarterback moves, is the biggest head scratcher, because he never showed anything more than a passable backup when he was in San Francisco for the year. I wanted him to succeed just to see he can get out of that shadow, because we've seen quarterbacks that have bombed at the Jets and gone to other teams and kind of like gone into obscurity ever since. And I kind of wanted to see, but like when I watched him play for San Francisco, I wasn't really impressed with him. I still thought that Purdy was the better option. He was the better quarterback. And Darnold going to Minnesota, where they've got no quarterback now because Kirk Cousins has chased the money and now wants to finish his career with his third organization that he's gone on camera and said. I think the Vikings need that quarterback, and they've only picked up Darnold as a backup just in case.
I mean, I disagree with you, because if you look at no, I would agree with you, but if you look at how much Darnold's being paid, $10 million for 1 year, that's bridge QB money. So I think they may well start him this year.
Okay,
and
so as of
sit a rookie
2024,
behind him.
all right. That's put in for just a bit of a discussion here. Let's say we compare the Vikings and the Raiders, two franchises that are in a bit of a rebuild. Let's say they both draft fantastically well. Let's say they come through training camp and preseason with no major injuries. Who would you rather have starting for your franchise first game week, Minshew or Darnold starting?
Minshew.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that Darnold should be starting for the Vikings. What I'm saying is,
I want that right in.
I
You heard it here
I
first,
think-
folks.
I think they paid
could
him
make that,
to
fine.
start. Nick's come
Pickett.
up and said Dobbs has shown more than Darnold and somehow has replaced Darnold as the Niners backup. I'm actually paying
Oh
him a
yeah, I
lot
forgot about
less,
Josh
too.
Dobbs.
Yeah, the Pastronaut.
Can I just say something along all this, right? The Vikings are doing a private workout with JJ from Michigan, the Michigan starting quarterback for the last 2 years. They are going to go after him. They've obviously traded up to get a number 11 pick, and they've also got the number 23 pick. Are they going to go trade number 3 or number 4? Cardinals already said, we're willing to take phone calls.
Yeah,
I reckon that they're going to be trading for at least number 3 or number 4 to go after and go and get JJ McCaffrey.
I mean, if they trade for number 4, Jim Harbaugh will be having a party because he can go get MHJ.
Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. Sorry. Explain to the people at home that don't really know him by what's the word I'm looking for? Well,
Marvin
names, shall we say?
Jr.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
So, but I'm going to disagree with that. This guy didn't perform at the combine, didn't perform at his own pro day. Why the hell should he be a top 10 pick now? Malik Neighbors has shown up. Roma Duzé showed up to both. Brian Thompson showed up to both. Lad McConkey showed up to both. The better quarterbacks. Xavier Worthy's going to do both as well. I could see him seriously falling down the draft table.
I don't think he will. I think he's proved enough in his college career.
Yeah, but it still shows it's an air of arrogance going, yeah, I don't need to turn up now. There's enough
Yeah,
of me on tape.
I don't like that, but I
Strong.
still think he will get picked as the first wide receiver, probably a top 5 pick.
So, shall we go on to someone who is leaving the league after 10 years in the NFL? Aaron Donald has retired, 10 years NFL, 8 Pro Bowls.
10 Pro Bowls, 8 All Pros.
8 All Pros, 3 Defensive Players of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Went to Super Bowl twice, winning the last one against the Bengals. This guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer, straight in. Stupid number of sacks. I haven't got the full stats in front of me. Actually, 111 sacks
with 24 forced fumbles.
Yeah, he is on path to be a Hall of Famer. He's waited a year so he can let Tom Brady have his going when Tom Brady's not there.
This is my question for you guys. Do you guys think this year there have been 3 first ballot Hall of Famers that retired? Jason Kelce.
Give us your 3. Go on.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
And this last one I'll give you is debatable with Fletcher Cox.
No, I wouldn't say it's debatable.
I'd say he's a Hall of Famer.
Baby.
I'm not sure he's first ballot.
Yeah, I agree, baby, on this one.
I would
kind of
go. Depends who he's up against that year. He could walk straight and get a gold jacket straight away because he's had a phenomenal career. 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that like 3 massive Hall of Fame players retired in the same year.
2 from the same franchise.
And they're all linemen, whether offensive or defensive.
I'd love to see that.
I mean, I've seen Aaron Donald play in the flesh when the Rams played over here at Twickenham. That guy's a human wrecking ball.
Yeah,
It's
weird that
remarkable.
I remember Donald being drafted in 2014.
I remember that as well. Fuck,
You were like
and him just coming in and being an absolute animal from the start.
Yeah. I mean, Defensive Rookie of the Year straight out, it just shows something, that's he is outright ruined teams, ruined quarterbacks.
I'm not sure if you guys
seem rather happy about it.
I'm not sure if you guys saw Niners offensive lineman John Feliciano's tweets. He tweeted, "Best day ever. I re-signed with the Niners and AD's retired."
Kyler Murray said something. Kyler Murray said something similar.
Yeah.
He said, "Thank God he's retiring."
He's not running around. He spent more time in the backfield than most quarterbacks. And he pretty much lived there. And for a big guy, he had a good turn of speed on him.
Yeah. Travis and Jason Kelce on the New Heights podcast talked about how hard it was to play against him. I think it was Jason said the Eagles triple teamed him every play.
Yeah. He still got to him. It does a lot, doesn't it? How much respect that someone like that demands on a field. Almost like, people just have that awe about them. Tom Brady, Joe Montana. I don't know any good Ravens players off the top of my head.
Wait, no.
Ray Lewis.
He doesn't know any great Ravens players that don't have a criminal record. All right.
Sorry, I missed that bit. Notice he didn't say Steve Young as well, mind.
What you mean? Sorry, Steve Young that doesn't have a criminal record isn't an actual ballot Hall of Famer with 3 Super Bowls. Yeah,
didn't say Steve Young, or he didn't say Drew Brees.
But no, I'm saying I just named 3 players for crying out loud. Chill, man. But they always had that awe of greatness around them. Demand respect, demand the Aaron Donald, God, we're going to put 3 players against him like the Eagles did, because otherwise he's going to cause havoc all day long. We're not going to get a game going.
Yeah, I mean, just while I talk about Steve Young, he does actually have more Super Bowls than the Ravens franchise. So.
Jeez. Dude, that's not surprising. Mind the pissing Niners bum boys jumping on me again.
Hey, guess what? Eli Manning has the exact same number of Super Bowls as the Baltimore Ravens have.
Eli
what?
Manning
Trent
has
Dilfer
more
has
Super
more
Bowl
balls than Brock
wins.
Purdy.
Eli Manning has the same Super Bowl wins as Lamar Jackson has playoff wins.
Whoa! Why are you kicking me when I'm down as well? Come on now. I expect better of you, OBH.
Mate, I really despise Eli Manning. You should know that. I just felt like
Yeah, of course, 100%. I can see why.
The Wire, great show.
Most definitely. All right, let's get back onto Aaron Donald. Super player, incredibly talented, and he's now fishing again, gentlemen. I do apologise about missing all the way. We, like I said earlier on, we have Pitbull on the show today. Around the room, what's your finest thoughts, the final memories of Mr. AD 99 himself, Mr. Harris?
As you said, but he's just an absolute wrecking ball. He's been the face of the Rams since he was drafted there, and he didn't struggle to start. He hit the ground running. You know, when teams were rolling into Los Angeles, they knew they had a game on their hands. They knew that the defensive side of the ball, there was going to be trouble. And yeah, I was going to say, he's been a fantastic player, a fantastic one-team servant as well. Yeah, best of luck to him in his retirement. A question on the back of that: where do you think he's going to go next? What do you think he's going to do? But I'll wait for that. Go on.
Going to put his feet up and relax.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a pundit or coach or anything like that, you don't think?
No, not anytime soon.
No, but like it depends what his passion is, because like you see, and I think Sky are the perfect example of this when they roll out particular players that, you know, they kind of like try and test the waters before they try and then go back to like the States, whether or not it's on Fox or the NFL Network or anything like that, where we had like Indomitian Sue for quite a long time on Sky Sports, where like he dipped his toes in, and then don't forget we had Cecil
Martin,
I can remember his name. Thank you very much. And we've had players in the past that have done this. Alex Smith did Sky Sports for a little bit before he then jumped back over to the States.
Right,
So,
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, absolutely. Now he's a prominent fixture on Monday Night Football. So
he's on Amazon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Thursday Night Football, isn't it? Sorry, my fault. So I think it depends. I can't see him doing anything like in terms of that, but then I also didn't think Indomitian Sue would end up one of my favorite pundits to listen to, and I found him very insightful, despite the fact that I thought he was a massive thug when he played for the Lions, the Dolphins, and the Bucks. My memory of him is just in that pre-Shanahan or that early Shanahan era as well, where he would just literally steamroll through our offensive line. Like you literally could put like a cement wall up and he would still find a way through. Whereas, you know, if Aaron Donald ended up on something like Gladiators, I would fancy his chances 10 times out of 10 to stop anyone on the gauntlet.
You just couldn't wait to shoe on the reference, and you couldn't wait.
I love Gladiators, man. What can I say?
I know you do.
One of my main memories of Aaron Donald is this year when he was running towards Geno Smith, and you could hear Geno Smith screaming.
Oh my God. I remember, it's so funny, yeah.
And also the whole ring me thing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You know, he is
100%
you know, the Super Bowl ring, pointed to the ring,
Yeah.
you know, and all that, when he sacked Burrows as well on that play. I remember when I was watching at Twickenham and they came out, it was actually against the Giants. So I've seen the Rams against the Giants twice, believe it or not, once in New York and once in Twickenham. And there was, you know, this was the early days of NFL over here in the UK. It had only been like, I think it's been seven years or something, not even that. And Aaron Donald, they cheer out, obviously, Rams house, whose house, Rams house, all that crap. Then Aaron Donald get called out. The place erupted. Even over here, the place went absolutely bonkers for this guy. He was already then, only been in the year 2-3 years, an absolute superstar already, and only been in the league 3 years. Outstanding player, demanded so much respect, and it's well deserved as well. He was a super, super player.
I wasn't at that Twickenham game, but I was a couple of years later at the Wembley game when it was the Rams-Bengals. I think it was Rams-Bengals. Rams won really easily, but again, Aaron Donald got the biggest cheer of the day.
He is admired all over the globe. You know, they could use it. You know, if Rams go play again abroad, they're going to drag him out every now and then because he he's going to be put into their Ring of Fame. You know, he's going to be a Hall of Famer no matter what. And he is a superstar, and he is going to be missed playing in this league. But like you said, 10 years, his body's been battered and bruised, battered about running into 300-pound men trying to get to the little slightly smaller quarterback, or in Kyler Murray's case, the very small quarterback. And it's going to take time in the end, at the end of the day, and all that. So
I mean, I hate the Rams, but I do really like Aaron Donald.
I've got an Aaron Donald little pop figure somewhere. They're brilliant players. I should have dug it up for the show, actually, but yeah.
The only ones I have are Bosa and I think Garoppolo.
What, in the Patriots jersey?
No. They're both in Niners jerseys.
What a surprise. So, for you who do not know and who do know, the players from the International Pathway participated in their pro day yesterday. Obviously, from our point of view, you know, apart from this one who really doesn't like rugby, our main focus is on Lewis Rees-Zammit, who has done quite well. His grading was an 8.97. His 40 was a 4.44. And that was his second time. That would put him 16th fastest in the wide receivers and 7th fastest in the running backs taking part. His broad was 9.7 feet and his vertical was 29. I've seen his end zone toe drag swag, and that was pretty something else where he got his toes down that corner. What do you make of these guys? I mean, obviously we've seen Lewis Rees-Zammit. All of his stuff's been shared around. The kicker, one of the kickers made a kick from 60 yards with room to spare. One of the punters hit a 70-yard punt as well. Yeah, I mean, it's come out that Lewis Rees-Zammit has had 3 offers from teams already. Within 12 hours, his teams are wanting him on his franchise. What do you make of it? What do you think of it, guys? Do you think this is a good thing for the sport to take this lad in from another sport?
Yeah, well, I mean,
of course it is, 100%. Yeah, of course it is.
It's the first time ever that all 32 teams have actually got that spare space on there for the IPP players. So that's good. And I agree with Nick, who says praying that the Niners are one of the 3 teams offering Rees-Zammit a contract.
No.
I want him
I've
on
heard an
terms.
inkling that one was the Jacksonville and the other one might have been a certain reigning Super Bowl champion.
Ooh, really?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, they like speed.
Yeah, they do. I think it's great. In all honesty, as is well documented, as Ollie just pointed out, I am not a rugby fan any way, shape, or form. But one thing I am is a proud Welsh person. It's a proud Welshman. Proud Welshman, you know. And so I would love to see Lewis Rees-Zammit in the NFL, and I would be so happy if he did sign to my Ravens, because there would be a Welsh connection. But anyway, he plays. If he plays, I hope he does well, and I hope he makes a good go of it. But then you've got these other punters, like you said. It's only growing the game. You know, it's only growing the game. Like, I think they're probably going to do an IPP next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, if this takes off and goes well. It only broadens the horizons of the game all over the world.
Nick has said he could be a cracking slot wide receiver, and he's strong enough to run those jet sweeps. Yeah, I believe he said he was targeting being a hybrid Debo-like player.
So I've seen some stats on that. He was quicker than Christian McCaffrey. He was the same time as Debo on the 40s. His verticals were roughly the same, give or take an inch. And his broad was obviously a little bit shorter. He was really disappointed with his broad jump. I don't think he got into that properly. But he is targeting Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel's style of play, you know, because they could both line up in the backfield and you wouldn't know the difference on that at all. He is going to be a bloody good player. You know, he's sitting in the practice squad for a season, get him to learn the sport, get more understanding of it, and then we give him a game or two just to see what he can like. Start getting injuries right to start playing him.
That's why I think he'd be good at the Niners, because people like McCaffrey, Debo are people who he wants to emulate. So I think learning from those would be the right fit for him personally.
I mean,
What do you reckon,
he's
Mr.
already
P?
going to be.
I mean, when do these players become available? Is it during the draft process, or is it?
No, it's after the draft, so you can invite one to your training camp.
Okay. So it's something that I'm aware of, but like it's not something that I've been actively following this off season or this preseason. It's preseason now officially, isn't it? And it's, I don't know, I'm just any chance that we can get to like bring more people from across the pond, or whether or not it's from Britain, Europe, Africa, it's only beneficial for the sport that we love. And the longer this goes on, the longer it drags out, I don't think that the UK will ever have its own franchise. But what this is doing is creating opportunities for our countrymen, other people from other countries, other sports, different backgrounds, having the opportunity to make it big in the NFL, just having that one chance, that one shot. And I'm all for it. I love an underdog story unless they're playing the 49ers, and I would love I love an underdog story unless it directly affects my team. I'm all for it. Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but I've been following the IPP this year with the YouTube series they were doing.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of series, a couple of episodes of it.
Yeah. But so far, I think there were 7 episodes, and I thought it was really interesting how they actually prepare for it. That's something that I didn't realize how in depth it was.
I mean, I've seen, it is deep in. I've seen some of the kicking practice, some of the kickers. I mean, saw one lad hit it from 66 yards with another couple of yards to spare on top of that. And he was one of the Irish kickers from the Gaelic Football League. So yeah, this could be.
They performed as part of USF's Pro Day, didn't they?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. This is where I would say would be a good thing for them to do. So the NFL should go partner up with the Summer League, whether it's the UFC or the joint now, the UFC and the XFL.
UFC, that'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Purdy getting a cage with John Jones.
You know what I mean?
USFL.
USFL. So, right, okay, we've got these lads here. Put a couple of them on your squad, especially the skill players, the linemen and all of right, just so they can actually get some game footage or game experience for 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks, however long the season goes on. Just to give them a bit of extra actual experience. Because it's all fair and well going up against each other. You're not really going out. You're pretty much red-shirted. You know, okay, you got the pads on, but you're not going on full-on blow contact. Just go, right, okay, yep. Okay, you're going to go and play for that team. You're going to play for that team. Right, okay, you're going to get some game time. You might not get many snaps, but you're going to get 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 weeks worth of full-on training, practice, understanding the sport more and more and more. So I think they should do that. I think that should be the next step that they do. What do you think?
For that, the NFL would have to then partner up with the XFL and USFL, which I think they should do in the same way the NBA and the G League. I'm going to use Heat as an example because this happened last night. But there was somebody that played in the G League and then the next day was playing in the NBA for the Heat. So I feel like if they could do something like that with NFL teams and USFL teams actually partnering up, I think that would be good.
It gives them a bit more. It just gives these IPP lads, like I said, 99% of them have never played American football. They've played might have done a bit of Brit ball or something like that in the background, but they've not played.
Even that flag. Yeah.
Exactly. Just give them something new. Right. Let's roll on to the little bit of free agency that's happened over the last week or so. We're just going to go over the big ones. The Jets signed Mike Williams to a 1-year deal. The Saints have also signed Chase Young to a fully guaranteed $13 million. Yeah.
Before we move on, can I just interject shortly? Sorry, Mr. OBH. Phil, what do you think the thought process behind the Saints chairman, owner, CEO, what have you, the decision makers in New Orleans?
Do you know what?
What do you think the thought process was into getting Chase Young for that kind of money?
I actually did a little bit of investigative journalism earlier on, and if it's all right with you guys, I know I didn't say it before we went on air, but I've got like a VT that I'd like to play, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
After the watershed now. After the watershed now.
Okay, all right then. So I had the opportunity to phone up the GM for the Saints earlier on my lunch break, and I actually, with his permission, he said I could actually record this. So just 2 seconds while I just load this up. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, is this Mr. Perrins, the media teacher? Yes, it is. Am I speaking to the general manager for the New Orleans Saints? You are. What is it that I can do for you today, Mr. Perrins? I just want to know, like, what your thought process was, because, like, the Saints are massively cap hit at the moment in terms of, like, how much money that you don't have to spend on players, and you've been threatened before by the NFL by, like, losing draft picks. What was your thought process of picking up Chase Young? Because as a 49er fan, we watched him since we traded him. He flirted to deceive. He had a few bright moments, but he didn't really solidify, what the 49ers thought they were going to get out of him. What didn't he not play in the NFC Championship game? Yes, he was a part of the team in the NFC Championship. Well, we wanted a winner. We wanted someone that I could say we declare a New Orleans Saint. Yeah, but he also played in the Super Bowl, and we didn't. Doesn't matter. He was a free agent, and we needed names because no one wants to play for our sorry ass organization. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. General Manager, and I really hope that you don't get fired. Oh, me too. Me too. See you later, Mr. Perrins.
Did he just turn into Goofy at the end?
I think he did. And if I'm being really honest, I actually think he's a little goofy in general.
Paying that much money for Chase Young, I don't blame you.
Exactly, and especially since it's not his money. That's one thing that he didn't actually mention on air. And it's, I personally think, I don't know if you got that impression from my question towards him, that he didn't actually.
Nick just came up saying, "This isn't the Saints GM. We didn't offer a recipe for homemade cloudy lemonade or iced tea."
I think that because I'm British, in case you didn't get that impression, I think you can feel well. Neil Batman. That's my Spanish. That's how you say Batman.
That's my Spanish.
And I just think he was like he didn't have any actual English breakfast tea, which is obviously what we drink along with Earl Grey. And I just don't think he actually gets the idea of why they're actually getting Chase Young when their team is bleeding money, or I should say, like their vault is as barren as the Sahara Desert. They have nothing to play with. And picking up this player that should have had an explosive end to the season with the 49ers, because he was, it was almost like a free hit for us and a free hit for him. And I don't think he actually did enough to justify that type of money. I said when when it came through that he essentially stole a bag of money from the Saints. But if you can understand the idiots that run the New Orleans Saints, if you didn't get from that, I knew you said impression from that phone call.
You got the impression of, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's it. I got the impression from talking to him.
Yeah, I get you.
Didn't quite know. Baby, what do you think of the New Orleans GM on the phone then?
I think Chase Young is I think Chase Young is walking the Saints blind, personally.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the Saints have still got just shy of 13 million worth of cap space. The worst team in big cap space is Atlanta Falcons and Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
because they're spending stupid money.
Because I was going to say they've been rinsed by other stupid quarterbacks, so it's like
right. Right, we're going to go through the other ones. The Bengals no longer want to protect Joe Burrow by signing Trent Brown to a one-year deal. This guy gave up so many times last season. Didn't really care. Just go and kill our quarterback. It's fine.
Is he the one that you called a walking flag?
Yeah, he's a loser.
Oh,
Don't understand how he's got to deal with such a good team. The Patriots in turn have signed KJ Osborne for a 1-year deal. I really like this one.
I like this deal too. I like KJ
I
Osborne.
think this is a brilliant good deal. And talk us through Mr. Dobbs, gentlemen.
Okay, this is a great signing. He's an upgrade on Sam Darnold, as we mentioned earlier. We're paying him $4 million less than Sam Darnold. And I think he's a serviceable backup to Brock Purdy, and he's a sort of quarterback that Shanahan likes, and he has that college connection with Joanne Jennings.
Yeah.
With them both being Tennessee. Yeah, they are both Tennessee Volunteers. There's actually a video which my sister sent me of
she sent me the same one.
Tennessee versus Georgia, where
What are you
Josh
getting both
Dobbs,
videos from his sister?
yeah, I don't think my sister knows you exist. Josh Dobbs.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Why are you always so
Jesus Christ! Your cabbage got a heart. Come on now.
Yeah, anyway, Josh Dobbs throws Hail Mary to Joanne Jennings to win the game for Tennessee against Georgia.
Nice. Nice. What do you think of the Jets with Mike Williams?
Good signing.
Excellent signing. Oh yes,
This is scary.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah, with Rodgers, with a fit Rodgers as well. Make a hell of a difference.
I stuck this in the chat, I think, yesterday. If you look at the 4 offenses of the AFC West, of the AFC East, there is one that's definitely a lot worse than the other 3. And
Hey,
Nick
we've got to be winning at something.
Nick just came in saying the Niners QB room is costing less than $6 million this year. Can't complain about that. And exactly.
Do you think you're going to grab a rookie?
No, I think we've got 3 and we're happy with 3.
Who's your
A
third?
few rookies. Yeah.
Brandon Allen.
Oh yeah, I forgot you took him. Fair enough. Let's go on to the news. Let's start with the one that broke.
Before we do, can I just interject? Sorry, Mr. Obi, I do apologise. I do have a question, just quick fire. It'll only be a minute. So, the quarterback situation in that horrible towel twirling bastard shit all they call Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Who started, Russ? Who started, Russ or Justin Fields? I wanted to do
we're just about to get that. That's the lead title in the news banner. It's
okay, sorry, I can't. It's on my. You know, it's on my phone. And my eyes are bad. Go on.
Well, I did put it in the chat yesterday.
Yeah,
so we researched about
This is
it.
where Shane goes, I didn't read the chat.
You are worse than anyone.
I
Like
am
a Scarlet
literally
Pimpernel.
what-
We seek him
I
here. We
was.
seek him there.
He goes incognito.
Yeah, that's my name at school. I'm Guy Incognito.
Incognito.
Hey. Right. This is we talked about, well, you talked about Chase Young absolutely robbing the Saints blind. I think the Steelers have just done this to Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago we've done the best thing for Justin Fields. Really? How have you helped him over the last 3 years?
Well, yeah. Can I just say a bit more on that? I thought it was quite funny when they said we've sent him to somewhere where we think he can continue his development. I was like, well, he might have developed more if you actually had a plan for him for the last 3 years when he's been in your organization. Then he might have developed a bit more.
They gave him a WR 1.5. They never gave him a decent enough O-line. They never gave him a decent running back. Okay, yes, he had a fairly good tight end. He never had a good offensive coordinator. He never had a good head coach. This guy was set up to fail in Chicago. You know, it is a sorry story for him. And I do think Mike Tomlin will get the best out of him. He's going to obviously sit behind Russell Wilson for 10 games because then they'll get pissed off with Russell Wilson. They'll bench him. And then Justin Fields will be playing for the rest of the season. He's going to ball out and he'll be comeback player of the year.
I really want Justin Fields to start from the start of the year, but apparently Russell Wilson has been told that he's currently QB1 for week 1. But I do think that they won't pay him whatever he wants next season, and Justin Fields will be starting week 1, 2025.
Yeah. So it's the 6th round pick for 2025 at the moment. But if he plays more than 51% of the snaps, it goes to a 4th round. So it's
still not
literally
enough.
No, it should have been there you go. There's a 4th round this year minimum. I mean,
apparently Chicago started with the framework of the Darnold trade, which was, I think it was a pick swap in the second rounder, wasn't it?
Can't remember that one.
Don't know. Yeah.
The one that was sent to Carolina a couple of years ago. I think it was a pick swap in the second round. So I'd love to know how they went from that to a conditional sixth rounder.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's a silly. It's silly. I mean, I want Justin Fields when Steelers play the Fields. I don't know when that cycle's going to come around again to throw 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and run in 2 touchdowns, and then literally go, I own this city.
Aaron Rodgers-esque.
Aaron Rodgers-esque. Yes, completely. Jerry Jeudy, 3 years extension with the with the Broncos for $58 million. And I know Mr. Perez put his hand up straight away. He's got something to say about this.
No, sorry. It wasn't about this. I was actually waiting for my time to talk about like the Wilson Fields thing.
Yeah, I wanted as well, but okay.
No, and it's very, very quickly. The Steelers have done something that they have never done before. They've spent massive in free agency on a quarterback. The Steelers, like Green Bay,
$1.2 million isn't massive.
Yeah.
No. But they brought in like Wilson and Fields. But just hear me out. The Steelers, like Green Bay, pride themselves on building from within and drafting from within, and literally building their players up. And if you look at like the legacy of like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have always drafted in their star players, and then they've moved them on or they've traded them. But it's very rare that they've done this, bringing somebody big in and spending money because they don't believe in it. And for the Steelers to do this very quickly and not just bring in Wilson for big money, but also Justin Fields for future big money, it actually really, I find it really shocking that organization would do something like that.
I really don't see 1.2 million as big money for Russell Wilson.
No, but it's a lot. No,
Denver are still paying $38 million of his wages.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, I get that.
I really think it's Russell Wilson's coming in as a 1-year bridge, and then Fields is going to start from then onwards.
I always feel sorry for Kenny Pickett, and it's the same for people who's followed Tom Brady in New England. It's the poison trellis, isn't it? You've taken off Big Ben, who's been a franchise face for 15, 20 years. You've taken off Tom Brady, who's been the face of the franchise for 15, 20 years. It's the same with Indianapolis, with Peyton Manning.
Well, the thing is, Andrew Luck was pretty good after Manning.
But ever since then, what's been their quarterback situation like? Bridge, failed veteran.
Yeah.
I know Mr. Mr. Harris has a great love for Justin Fields.
And he's gone to his favourite franchise too.
Yes, I do. And I'm a little bit annoyed, that he'll be playing in yellow and black next season, this season, whatever. Yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed with that. I think he's better than Russ, and obviously I'm going to say that because I'm a fan. But I think he should start now. I don't even know why they brought Russell Wilson in. I think, as you said, I think Chicago done Justin Fields wrong. But then it's mad now how Chicago have got rid of him, and now they're starting to build. They put in a lot of talented free agents.
Do you not think, though, that they kind of like overcapitalized on this because they picked up Russell Wilson because there was an offer there, knowing that probably they would have... All right, so if the Fields thing would have materialized first, they would have taken Fields and not gone for Wilson. But because Wilson came up, they jumped at that opportunity, and then the Fields kind of like trade also came up. Well, you've kind of like snagged, boom, boom, boom. All right, then that's the next 10 years that we don't have to think about.
Does anyone think it's a bit like the Steelers just throwing mud at the wall and seeing what sticks?
Yes, I think that's exactly what they've done. But it's something that they haven't done historically because, again, the fan pressure in Pittsburgh and, Tomlin's never been undefeated record. Never had a losing season record. But also, they're kind of like bricking it when they get into like the playoffs and never really doing much in the playoffs. I think this is them trying to reinvigorate this particular offense because we can all agree that the Steelers defense is the Iron Curtain. Like it's still just as good. You've still got all those big hitters. You've still got TJ Watt. You've literally got one of the best defensive players. You've got great.
And who else do you have?
The defense in Pittsburgh has always been good, and they've still got their weapons. Now, the whole thing with Kenny Pickett was a complete mistake. I think Kenny Pickett going where Kenny Pickett's gone is kind of needed for both parties. And
Jets
back up now.
Yeah,
Eagles. Yeah, he's back up to Jalen Hurts now.
Yeah, it was a 6th round as well, wasn't it? Or something stupid like that, wasn't it?
To be honest,
I've always said, boys, I said Kenny Pickett wouldn't work out, and he hasn't, and he won't.
I agree with what Shane's saying, that I think Justin Fields should start now, but I think Ross will start for this season.
Yeah, of course he will.
Oh,
anyway, should we move on to Jerry Judy? Because
Yes,
I've got some stuff I want to say about this.
Fire.
Overpay. Massive overpay.
Really? It's only
He's not like
41 million.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
sorry.
but it's just,
It's 41 million guaranteed over 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good. I'm looking at his 58 million, not 48. Dave has said, I don't know why New England didn't get Fields and then Harrison at number 3. And he's got a point there.
Dave, I said to Wally months ago that Justin Fields should have went to the Pats, and he was like, no, doesn't fit the scheme. I've been saying it for a long time.
Me and Dave have had plenty of conversations about why I don't want Justin Fields in New England. And I've said this on this show as well. And yes, I don't think it fits the scheme. That was under Belichick's dictatorship, I think the best way to put it is. But
someone's turning on Bill.
Oh, have you watched Dynasty?
It was about to come.
Watch Dynasty and you'll understand.
Wait. All right, you finish your point, and then we'll talk about Dynasty.
And then you get back. Right. Justin Fields is a more mobile version of Mac Jones. In his last 2 years, Mac Jones' last 2 years in New England. Mac Jones' rookie year would have been playing the stadium if he kept the ceiling. Justin Fields, yes, it is down to the coaching. Yes, it is down to the franchise he was in. Whenever he had the ball in his hand and the plays was there, he looked like a deer in the headlights. There were so many times he had open wide receivers that all he had to do is dump a little 10-yard pass. Instead, he tried to scramble and run for it and lost yards, or unless it's against the 49ers, put 9 of their defenders on their arms. But Justin Fields isn't the quarterback of this league. He isn't good enough for this league. And it's the same, I'm sorry to say, bar possibly Trevor Lawrence, none of the 2021 quarterbacks are good enough for this league. And I hope every single one of them prove me wrong. Yeah, there's my say on it. Jerry Judy, overpaid? No.
Yes.
I think that's, yes. I mean, compared to what some of the players are, no.
Yeah, but if you look at it, 3 years of 58 million, I don't think...
Look who he's had as a quarterback for the last 2 seasons.
Look at his injury record for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, but you could put that down to anything. That is the players do. A lot of players get injured. Yes, I do admit he's an injury hit player. He's only played 2 full seasons twice. He played 16 games last season. He played 15 the year before. He played 10 the year before that. And he played 16 his rookie season, which was his best season.
I honestly don't think he's that good.
He's not a top tier quarterback.
Dave said I don't think it's overpaid. He is still very young. Yeah, but he's just not that good, in my opinion. And I think he'll be found out this year as WRG Ryan Cooper.
I don't know, man. We'll see exactly what Deshaun Watson brings out in him. And what he brings out in Deshaun Watson. It could be a completely different kettle of fish this year with a better quarterback under center. The AFC North could look really different come the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think going from Russell Wilson to Deshaun Watson is no improvement. If he was going to Aaron Rodgers or he's going to Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy, God, I've just said that. Jesus.
Why would you say that for?
No, but if you know what I mean, Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, when we do our quarterback ranking later in the season, you'll see I rank them pretty much the same. I don't think one is Deshaun Watson's so much more better than Russell Wilson. I think
It's funny,
Deshaun Watson is a younger version of Russell Wilson.
I stumbled
and
upon
his
my.
not playing for 18 months has cost him now because
I
he
stumbled-
is not the player he was before he decided to go and have 762 massages
I actually stumbled upon
with
my
extras.
my QB ranking from last year, and it actually made me laugh.
So
I had 2 in the top 10.
you're on our socials, boy.
I mean, so I don't think his. I mean, I can't remember who the quarterback in Denver was in 2020.
Ooh, good question.
I can't remember who it was. I know he's had Russell Wilson the last 2 seasons, and
That's how little we pay. That's how little we pay attention to Denver. That's quite sad.
his numbers are shite. Putting it that way.
Okay, their own owners don't pay that much attention to Denver.
Was
Yeah,
it Drew
that's
Lock? Was it Drew Lock?
Yeah, I think it was.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah,
Might have
yeah.
been.
Drew Lock and Brock. I want to say Brock.
Osweiler.
Yeah, I want to say him.
No, Osweiler was like 2014.
Okay.
Osweiler was 8
You have a
years
look.
ago.
You look.
Mr. Perrins, would you like us to fill us in about Baker Mayfield?
Oh, yes. Hold on, gents. Because I didn't get a chance to do this. I did.
I know the answer. Sorry, guys. Sorry, before you stop, Phil. I know the answer. Drew Lock, Jeff Driscoll, and Brett something.
Rippin.
Hard.
Brett Rippin. There you go. There you go. Sorry, Phil, as you were.
Teddy Bridgewater.
As you were.
He's had no good quarterbacks, that's all. Poor bloke. And he's still not going to have a good quarterback. Sorry, Mr. Perrins. Baker Mayfield.
Okay, sorry. So this is a story that kind of broke last off season. That only came up recently on my feed because I just love obscure NFL stories that don't necessarily hit the headlines. And it's a story about Baker Mayfield. So before he signed his, was it $100 million deal with the Bucks, where 50 of that is 100% guaranteed, he'd only made about 48 million in his career prior to that. Now, to like most people, 48 million is an obscene amount of money, and we all wish that we had that in our bank account. But like to an NFL quarterback who was an experienced quarterback at this point, that is quite suspect, and that is because after taxes and fees, he's mostly got about like 28 point something million left, and then after that, he had more than half of that disappear. And by that, I mean, in terms of he's not just paid his tax, he also had some money that he invested into a company that was run and owned by his own family, i.e. his father and his older brother. That money, quite a substantial amount of money, disappeared completely. And his family has kind of like, I don't say like blackballed him, but like given him like the cold shoulder and like shut him out completely. And so he's then had to take them to a Texan court to get them to legally open up the accounts for this business that they run and lost all his money from, so he can actually find out where all of his career earnings has gone. These family are playing quite hardball with him, and it just seems quite a horrible situation of a family taking advantage of their golden goose and taking a lot of his own personal earnings away from him. And it's been kept relatively under the NFL radar, and I only get snippets because I follow his partner on Twitter as well, and just from like a couple of news outlets. And it's actually quite upsetting that someone that we have mockingly called like the Underbaker before, but after reading the story, I feel really horrible for him, kind of like what we felt with after what's his name, Mr. Money, Johnny Manziel, where we kind of like felt like a collective, like, oh, Johnny, if you only had the right people around you. Not the exact same thing, but a similar thing has happened where Baker has been taken advantage of, completely trusting his own family, and they've stolen quite a lot of his own personal wealth from him, and he doesn't know where it's gone, and he's had to go down this legal route to find out what's happened to it because his family aren't becoming forthcoming, and I just feel really sorry for him. So it's not a massive story. I do believe that the Baker Mayfields want to keep it under wrap. The only reason why I know about the 12 million case that he's had to pay courts to do is because it just hit a local news set, because it's like freedom of press. Have an amazing night, Sade's just put. Sorry, I read that wrong. Good night, Shade. So yeah, that was just it. I just think it's just one of these stories that's been kept kind of suppressed from like the Baker camp that I just wanted to talk about, because when I brought this up in our little group chat, all three of you were going, well, I haven't heard of this. It's not blah 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 blah. And I just like yeah, and I literally just sent you like 4 links from like this. There was Forbes, there was the Washington Post, there was like all these different things going. You just obviously don't obscure NFL stories like I do. So yeah, what do you think about that, gents? Like,
no, we don't follow the undertones. It's wrong. It's harsh, and it's you know, you should be able to trust your family and like go right. Yeah, okay, yep, I'm happy to like help you with this business, get this business off the ground. Here's XYZ money, and you expect it to go, oh yeah, I can see where you spent this money. Oh, I can see what you're doing wrong, you know. Or let me go, I got this. As you said earlier on about Johnny Manziel, it's about having the correct people around you to have that.
Yeah.
I watched Dynasty, and a part of the episode was about Aaron Hernandez. The series was about Aaron Hernandez, about not having the right people around him. You know, he asked to be traded away from New England so he can get away from where his influences were, because he's from that area. He's from the Massachusetts area. Had a bad load of people around him in that when he was at school, and then he got taken down to Florida, where he was under the watchful eye of Urban Meyer, and then he got drafted back to New England, obviously where all his bad influences were. And it was 2 or 3 seasons in where he was asking to be traded. He asked to be traded to the west side of the country to be safe, get away from these bad influences. And what Belichick did was go, no, we just put you in a flat. Just go and put in another flat. Just go and stay somewhere else. You'll be fine. And it's the same kind of thing of like, you should be able to trust your teammates. You should be able to trust your family. All the people you would trust, you should be able to have them around you. If you don't, it's a sorry story, and it's sad. And I really, all these things could be stopped if you put yourself in the right thing. But as you said, you should be able to trust your family.
Yeah. And it's horrible because like now to be like any professional athlete in any sport, you all need like a mini management company around you, just because of how much it's. I was actually saying it to like my class today, and it was actually my year 9 class, and we were talking about like footballers, and I don't know how it got brought up, but like it was just basically talking about like Maradona, and he was saying about like, oh yeah, so Maradona used to like do like hardcore drugs before he would come onto the pitch, and that's what footballers used to be. He was like, they would do heroin and like they do meth and cocaine. I went, well, I'm sorry, what the hell do you mean? Like 100 years ago, when you professional footballers, they were just like average Joes that got paid very little. Like Maradona is such a unique case, but I think the point that he was trying to get is George Best was an alcoholic. Like Matt. So, what'd you say, baby?
Gaza.
Oh my God, Gaza's the prime British example, maybe even Wayne Rooney. And then because Gaza didn't have those people around him, so I said that like Wayne Rooney having a better infrastructure, but not that great, to be fair, like really not that great in hindsight of things. But now you see like professional footballers that have their own PR managers, they have their agents, they have their PAs that literally do nearly everything from them. Some of them even have their own security. Messi has his own security in Miami. Like that just follows him around just to make sure that he's safe, that nobody bothers him. I just think all these professional athletes are so susceptible to just the wrong influences, the wrong advocates speaking in their ears, kind of like making decisions for them. And it's quite harrowing that it's your older brother, it's your dad, and they're stealing from you and losing all your money. That's really horrible.
I mean, if they said to him, look, we've fucked up here, we're really sorry, this is it probably wouldn't have come to light. But the fact that they've hidden it, they've gone at this, that's what's caused the issues.
Yeah.
So we all remember the quarterback series last year that followed Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Montana, and I can't remember who the full quarterback was now.
Mariota. Marcus Mariota.
There was only 3 quarterbacks. It was Mahomes, Cousins, and Mariota.
Of course. Yeah. So we all fell there, and we all fell in love with Kirk Cousins and his quirkiness. We all our respect for Patrick Mahomes went through the bloody roof. You know how much he does, and Marcus Mariota was the pantomime villain, shall we say? The way you put it is the best way to put it.
Big old heel.
They haven't got any quarterbacks come through this year. They have released the ones that they've asked, and you've turned them down. But so they've gone down a different route, and they've dropped the receiver series. So it's going to do the same. There's 4 receivers and a tight end. We got the Raiders, Devontae Adams. We've got the Vikings, Justin Jefferson. We've got Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I'm really looking forward to that one. And then we've got some team from Southwest plays in
some
red
other
and
team,
gold.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's two people that played in some team from the Southwest also are NFC champions and played in the Super Bowl. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. But Kittle's a tight end, so why the hell is he in the receiver family? I don't get that.
He still receives passes from Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a hell of a character as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
he's good.
He is. He's
I
like
mean, you
such
see
a
him-
surfer boy. Yeah.
You see him on the show. He knows where that camera is, and he's always putting things, and he always says things.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I'm just waiting for a Daniel Ricciardo style quote from him. If you
Do you want to explain to the viewers at home and listeners at home who
He
or
calls
what a Daniel
Netflix a
Ricciardo
bunch
is?
of- Daniel Ricciardo's a Formula 1 driver, and he does the
Thank you.
Drive to Survive. And Netflix are following the camera, and he goes, Netflix are a bunch of, aren't they? I'm not going to say the word.
Is
Okay.
it a beginning with C?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a lovely
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. And it gets, it's always referenced. I reference it every time I watch Drive to Survive because it's quite funny. I'm just waiting for that comment to come from. I mean, the Raiders are going to be really interested in Devontae Adams because he went there to go and play with his best mate. How did
Then
that
got
work out?
benched.
Justin
And
Jefferson's
then-
going to be interesting because of his injury rehab. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be interesting because
It'd be like watching X Hamster. I mean,
So
wow, you know.
Well,
Those-
no, to be fair, Nick, you'll be watching NFL Network nights.
So
Yeah, NFL Network After Dark.
for those that can't see this, Nick has just commented saying they should have had Tyreek Hill on the show so they could cover how he impregnated more women last year than the Panthers won games.
or they could have got Tyreek Hill going, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to go back for that ball again. He's underthrown me by 15 yards.
Guys, out of interest, if you have any player now that's playing now, or wide receiver for that, in that case, to be on this show, who would you pick?
Who would I pick? Wide receiver, who would I pick? DK Metcalf would be quite funny, just to see how much steroids he can take. So I didn't say
Okay.
that. You don't take steroids, DJ Metcalf. We are just winding you up. Please don't sue us. I would like to see like KJ Osborne, see what really happened in the locker room.
I'd quite like to honestly, I'd quite like to see Denver because I'd quite like to see how much Russell Wilson actually spoke with his wide receivers.
Yeah. New York have been quite good. Garrett Wilson.
Nick has suggested NFL red light zone.
That's brilliant. I love that one.
Have you seen?
Very
Have you
good.
seen? While we're on about the red zone, that Scott Hansen is going to
Hansen.
be doing the Olympics for the
Yes.
American. I love
That's
that.
brilliant.
That is so brilliant. Out of the go shows, let's take your two out of it. Let's put your neutral hat on, not your 49ers hat on.
Okay.
Who are you looking forward to see the most in this series?
Even with my neutral hat, it's still George Kittle because I think he's going to be a hell of a character.
And mine, yeah.
I think Amon Ra be saying good because I've seen bits of his podcast. He's brilliant with his brother. Him and his brother are absolutely brilliant.
He was quite good on what's the Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah.
I mean, it depends.
You're obviously
it
going to
depends
see a lot of Dan Campbell as well, which is going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really good.
It depends. It depends what you're looking for. Like, are you looking for like a heartwarming story? Well, then Marson Brown and Dan Campbell in Detroit is literally our go-to for feel-good stories. If you're looking for like, I don't know, a juicy bit of goss, Devontae Adams, man, because he played all last season with such a fat chip on his shoulder, and the whole controversy surrounding the Raiders, which seems to be every single year, and the turmoil that came from it, and and Antonio Pierce coming in, being like a Dan Campbell kind of like type coach anyway, and that rebuild. I'm just fascinated by that, and that's me without my 49ers hat on. I'll tell you one that I would have loved to have seen in the show, and if they could maybe shoehorn him in, I don't even care that he's currently a free agent. How sick would it be if they had Antonio Brown?
Oh, I'm surprised they haven't made a series about his escapades as it is, because we all know the controversy creates cash. And also, on the subject of free agents, I heard Cam Sutton's going to the Raiders.
Yeah,
So just
joke for the fans at home.
They've got to find him first.
Just a quick aside. I'm surprised Shanahan's actually been okay with cameras following Kittlin's Debo, because when it was potential that the Niners were going to do Hard Knocks, John Lynch came out and said, if you choose us, we will go out of our way to make sure it's the worst TV ever. So I'm surprised Lynch and Shanahan have let this happen in a way.
I mean, it still can be.
I mean, they don't. I mean, from what I looked at the quarterbacks, they don't go delving into the game, do they? They don't see the game footage. They don't go into locker room. Well, they go into locker rooms, but they don't go into team meetings, stuff like that. Really, do they?
Yeah.
It's more about the player than the actual team, but you will see interactions with other players and all that going on.
I agree with Nick saying Puka could have been fun to hear after he literally came from nowhere.
I've watched the
Yeah,
clip.
I saw him at the Pro Bowl.
Watch the Rams.
Pro Bowl. He was quite a personality on him.
Yeah, the video. I watched the video of how the Rams drafted him. It's brilliant. How they talked about him and go, yeah, they really liked him. And the fifth, they really thought he was going to be really good. Okay, then, gentlemen, really quickly, let's finish up on the 49 stuff. Losing a couple of draft picks for not having correct accountants.
No, they made a mistake. They took responsibility for it. We lost our 5th round, and our 4th round moved 4 places.
Yeah.
So
it's just sort of meh for me.
What is the misdemeanors they've done? What's the payroll errors?
The payroll errors were from the end of the 2022 season, and the quote is, it's just coming along the bottom, they resulted in a misreporting of the team's cumulative player compensation. Apparently it did not result in us being over the cap at any point, or did not give us a competitive advantage, which is why we just got a slap on the wrist, and they've taken away a 5th round and moved our 4th round 4 places. Honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. That's
so it's almost like Red Bull getting a slap on the wrist for reaching their salary, their cap spend, but apparently that was a buffet issue.
Nick said punishment doesn't fit the crime, as the Niners have never actually benefited and would have been under the cap anyway.
Yeah.
But they've got to make an example of it. That's
they've
the
got,
thing. You can't go, it's fine, we're just going to fine you $500,000, but, teams get hurt if they lose draft picks. But teams, every year, teams want to either go and get the best players, or they are stocking draft picks. So I can see Vikings moving up again to 3 or 4 to go and get, because you're going to get 11 and 23 at least, and a couple extra ones if you're going to go top 4. That's going to be really interesting.
Ollie, if they get 3, you saying you're happy with Jacoby for the year?
So this is how I see it. Right, I'm not going to give this away because I've done this. So I can see it. If they go 3, they'll take a tackle, they'll take a wide receiver in the 1st round, and then Bo Nix possibly at 34, 35. And he's still a good number.
Daniels, you are.
Time will tell. Okay, it is come to an end of the show. We always seem to find something to rant on around in the off season. It's the NFL. It's what happens. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in, taking part of the show. It makes our life a lot easier. It makes us talk a lot more, which we know you all love.
I know.
As always, this show will be up on any of your podcast listening devices tomorrow from 8:30. We are trying to crack Apple Music. That's a hard nut to crack. But until then, we will see you live 7:30 No, 8:30 next week.
7:30? We've been doing a show for how long?
I know, tell me about it. It is our birthday show next week. I am going to put it out there.
Yes! Bring your party hats, bring your cake.
So until then, ladies and gentlemen, good night and stay safe.